Right, so we're making creme brulee.
That's right.
They're not sure about the origin, but they generally say it comes from France or England or Spain. But the first known recipe was in a French cookbook in 1880 something.
Well done. Okay, so for our creme brulee recipe, with our own little twist, we are going to be sieving here, well, ordinary cake flour, half a cup of it.
Okay.
I'm going to put that into the sieve. And then can you measure out here? This is corn flour, half a cup of corn flour in there. Can you do that?
So what's the difference between this flour and corn flour? This is made from corn.
Yes. And that's ordinary flour is made from wheat.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so here we go. Half a cup of that. I would say let's put half a teaspoon of salt in this mixture.
Okay, that's sorted out. While that's happening, while we're doing that, I see you've got some milk on the boil.
So I have 4 cups of milk on the boil on the stove. So there we go. We can get rid of that.
How much is salt you need?
Just a quarter teaspoon into that mixture.
All right. Done. So here is flour and corn flour.
Corn flour, a quarter teaspoon of salt. And then I am going to get a cup of sugar into this mixture. So there we go. We're mixing in the sugar. And I'm going to be cracking in 2 eggs into this mixture here. There we go. And you're going to very quickly beat that up. And you want to make sure that there you go, you're doing a wonderful job.
I know.
If you feel that it's too thick, it's only because the eggs that you've used are too small. So I'm going to add another egg in there. So you would use 2 large eggs, 2 large eggs. All right, so you beat that up.
So you want what kind of
Consistency, I think nice and smooth and creamy, but you don't want any lumps. So the only idea there is just to beat it up so you've got no lumps.
So if
done.
you get rid of lumps, you beat it up.
You do. And so the mixture that we're making here is a confectioner's custard.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. I
So
thought we're doing creme brulee.
we are, but you're going to see in time. So the nice thing about knowing a creme brulee recipe or a confectioner's custard is that you can then use it as a base for many of your tarts. For you can fill in. You can keep beating. You can fill
I'm getting a
it.
bit tired.
Okay. Can I help you with this
It's
whisk?
like being in gym.
All right, so there we go. So sometimes it's a little bit easier with the whisk, and you just get the whisk in there, and the whisk does all of the work for you. It's all in the wrist.
So why did you give me the fork then?
Because I think if you started with this and you beat up all the flour, would be spilt all over the counter. So there we go. We've got that nicely done. We aerating it as well, because that's what a whisk does. It adds a lot of air. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And also, we've beat up all of the lumps. I am going to put a quarter of this block of 500 grams. So what's the measurement then?
So a quarter.
A quarter of 500, that's 250. And do you see what I've done? I've just done my own little measurement.
Oh, okay.
And then I've cut it into
That's
half.
half.
That would be half. And then I will slice it down further and I'll halve it down. And then we've got 125 grams of butter. I'm going to put 125 grams of butter into my boiling milk. So here goes. We give this a little stir. We don't want the milk to scorch underneath. And if you have burnt the milk, kindly throw it out, because it is going to flavor everything that you make with a rather scorched and a dreadful smell and taste. And when this butter melts down, we're ready to add the mixture that you have been stirring for me, but you also need the whisk. You're going to bring this very smooth and beautiful textured, beat up flour, maizena, eggs, salt and sugar mixture. And we're going to be putting this into our
Milk.
boiled milk. All right, so the whisk is what we're going to be needing. All right, and
Okay,
let's just start to
yeah.
pour that
Should I
in.
just pour this in?
Yes, but you need the spatula, I need the whisk.
Oh,
So I'm going to keep beating.
you always take
There we go. You can pick it up nice and high. And there we go. And as we beat it up, do you see what's happening?
No.
It is starting to thicken
Oh, okay.
in the hot milk. And you're going to scrape that up because remember we said all of the ingredients.
scientific.
It is scientific. All of the ingredients come together. So if you look here, you will see the most luxurious.
Custard.
So we've added some fresh cream in there. And as you can see now, we've got quite a wonderful thick custard on the go here. I'm going to turn it off because we don't want it to over thicken. So I've put some hot water into a basin, and there we have our 3 little bowls that we are going to be
So why did you put it into? Why are you bathing it?
just so that it cooks with the water in the oven, and it's supposedly more moist, and it's supposed to be evenly cooked.
Okay.
All right, so here goes. I am going to get rid of the excess from there. You're going to scoop that into the 3 little bowls.
Fill it up.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think anybody wants to be robbed of their creme brulee.
So you could put this into any kind of container.
Well, a nice solid ceramic little dish, and you're going to be putting it
making
into your bath of water. I would go 3 tablespoons each. Remember, this dish is almost fully cooked, okay? When we put it into the oven, we will have this all ready. And once our guests arrive, there we
We'll
go.
Put it into the oven.
Yes, so that it's nice and warm.
Okay, I'm trying to do this as delicately as possible.
Thank you. And also remember that this dish is to be served warm. So you would actually sneak away to the kitchen at the time that the main is finished, and you will then pop this into the oven. And of course your oven needs to be preheated. I would go with 200 degrees Celsius. When it is cooked for approximately 6 minutes, 6 to 10 minutes depending on your oven, you're going to remove it. We're going to cover it with sugar, and then you are going to use our little creme brulee gadget to burn the top of the sugar.
Ah, is it done?
It is done indeed.
Do you need help?
I don't, because I'm worried that this is a bit too hot for you. All right, so do we have the board ready?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so here we go. And I take them out of the oven, and I'm going to be placing it there. And the next step that I know you've been waiting very anxiously to do is to put the sugar on the top and to fire it. And as you can see, our creme brulees are so beautifully done. You are now going to sprinkle it with sugar. You could choose to use, yes, as much sugar as you want to.
I think that depends on your taste.
Yes, but no, the idea is to sprinkle it quite amply, because if you don't, then you're not going to have anything to burn. Right, let's go. So as you can see, Kabeshan has sprinkled it with sugar, and then you've got a little confectioner's torch, which he's been waiting to use. He's now going to hold a steady flame for long enough time in a particular space until the sugar crystallizes and becomes nice and brown. So that's not burnt, it's just that it does need to be brown, and you found that as it cools, it becomes a wonderful crust on the top of your creme brulee.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm just
Keep
beginning
going.
to see that if it's too lumpy,
Yes.
then you're not getting it from the other side.
So then I'm just going to flatten this a bit for you.
Thanks, boss. Okay. And guys, if you thinking this is boring, it's like welding.
It's like welding, okay. So there's some people that like to use a nice deep dark brown sugar as well. It's entirely up to you, but traditionally you would use a white sugar and you would burn the sugar. and you will find that when it cools, we would have a wonderful crust on the top. And the delight about eating a creme brulee is to be able to crack the sugar on the top and then get to the delicious creaminess underneath. And there you have it, our homemade creme brulee.